Hi, good afternoon. This is Lunch with Hirok, and you are here to learn about health and nutrition, and I'm happy to have you here. If you find that this to be of educational benefits to you and your friends, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel so that you will hear it the moment it comes on. It is always at 1:15 Singapore time or whatever time it is in the world. Singapore time is GMT or UTC plus 8 hours. That's our time here. Welcome on board. Hi, who's this? Okay, today's topic is called the demonization of fats. The demonization of fats. That's today's topic. Many of us have grown up in an era where we equate a low-fat diet with thinness and health. Doctors, nutritionists, scientists, the government, and the media have brainwashed us into believing that when you eat fat, it gets turned into fat in your body, and worse, it clogs your arteries. Except, none of this is scientifically true. It is based on flawed science and ignores compelling evidence to the contrary. Our fear of fat has created, hi Mamantha, has created a big fat health mess. Hi Zeminla, welcome on board. Hi Shaz, welcome on board. It all started when, based on seemingly sound advice of our governments, our healthcare agencies, and the food industry, we cut out fat, which turns out to be the essential ingredient for health and weight loss. Then we replaced fat with sugar and carbs. In 1992, the US government published in the Food Guide Pyramid, at the base of the pyramid were carbs, and we were told to eat 6 to 11 servings of bread, rice, cereal, and pasta a day. At the tippy top, right at the top of the pyramid, were fats and oils, which we were told to use only sparingly. The food industry jumped on board with low-fat craze, which we were told and created everything from low-fat salad dressing to fat-free yogurt to low-fat desserts. Remember all this? And since they were low in fat, which we equated with healthy, you could eat the whole box, which many of us did. Okay, so we had a lot of low-fat snacks and we would eat it like munchies like that and completely finish it. Like good citizens, we listened to what our government advised. And now, the average American consumes 152 pounds of sugar and 146 pounds of flour per year. And it's happening the same in Asia. Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, everybody's getting fat. Now even in Burma, where we used to have thin people, now we are having fat people. Almost 20% of our daily calories come from sugar-sweetened beverages like soda, sports drinks, sweetened coffees and teas, and juice. These liquid sugar calories are far worse than the solid sugar or other carb calories because they go straight into fat production and storage. They are biologically addictive. Hi Mike, welcome on board. Increasing your craving for more sugar, and since your body doesn't recognize these calories as food, you end up consuming more total calories than you would, happy Friday my friend, than you would from solid food. Sugar sweetened drinks also wreak havoc on our health. In a dramatic study in the journal Circulation, researchers attributed 184,000 deaths each year to the effects of drinking these sugary drinks and concoctions. These drinks have been proven to cause obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer, type 2 diabetes. We now know from the research that sugars and refined carbs are the true causes of obesity and heart disease, not fats as we've been told. Carbs turn on the metabolic switch, causing a spike in hormone insulin, and this leads to fat storage, especially dangerous belly fat. Sugar and carbs, not fat, as you'll see soon, are also the main causes of abnormal cholesterol. Sugar and refined carbs are the culprits behind type 2 diabetes, many cancers, and even dementia. As I have said in all the lunch with Hiroks, there are certain types of solutions out there. So there's something called the blood sugar solution and 10-day detox diet, and now we're having a 21-day pagan diet coming up, okay? The steep rise in worldwide type 2 obesity and pre-diabetics directly resulted from the glut of refined carbs and sugar in our diet. Let's rethink our fear of fat. When it comes to fat, we have a semantics problem. In other languages, the word for the fat we eat is different from the word for the unwanted stuff clinging to our midsections. And even within the world of fat we eat, there are many different kinds, some good and some bad. We don't have that confusion with sugar. Sugar is sugar is sugar. All forms of sugar with small and relatively insignificant differences have the same negative effects on your body and mind. Hi Fitrich, welcome on board. Let me see. It doesn't matter if it is table sugar, high fructose corn syrup, agave nectar, honey, or any of the other 257 names for sugar. It's all sugar, whether it's fructose or whatever it is you want to call it. It's all sugar. But fat is not fat, is not fat. There are saturated, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, and trans fats. And even within each, there are different types. Saturated fats come in many flavors, as do polyunsaturated fats. I'll explain this more in detail soon. Bottom line. Hi Hoyen, welcome on board. Bottom line, not all fats are to be vilified, and eating liberal amounts of the right ones will not make you fat. In fact, the right ones are the key to health and weight loss. Our views on fat, thankfully, are shifting. Over the last 5 years, the scientific evidence has been mounting that high-fat diets outperform low-fat diets for weight loss and for reversing every single indicator of heart disease risk, including abnormal cholesterol, diabetes, hypertension, inflammation, and more. In fact, the evidence has found no link between dietary fat, saturated fat, or cholesterol and heart disease. Okay? The evidence has found there's no link between dietary fat, saturated fat, and cholesterol and heart disease. There's no link between the two. Okay, Joslin Diabetic Center at Harvard, one of the top diabetic center in the world, was named after Dr. Elliot P. Joslin. In the 1920s, he recommended a diet of 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbohydrates to treat diabetes. This is called the ketogenic diet. After fat became demonized in the 1950s and 1960s, a low-fat, high-carb diet, 55% to 60% carbs, was recommended by scientists and doctors of that day. For decades, the American Diabetic Association, ADA, promoted this diet as the diabetes epidemic worsened year after year. Now researchers at Joslin Diabetic Center are once again recommending diets of up to 70% fat for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. As one example of how effective a high-fat diet can be, the head of ADA in Los Angeles region, Allison Hickey, had type 2 diabetes for 11 years. She followed the ADA advice, exercised, and was on over 50% fat. She slashed her carbohydrate intake. She got off her injections and most medications, and her blood sugar level returned to normal. Her digestive problems and brain fog also disappeared. This is the director of ADA in Los Angeles. She used Jocelyn's method of taking fats, and she lost her type 2 diabetics of 11 years. My God. And what are they telling us? What are they selling us? Huh? Unfortunately, not everyone is getting the message about the importance of fat, and we still have a way to go. The ADA is still pushing old and dangerous advice. It now recommends avoiding refined carbs, but still pushes the low-fat message, even though studies have found that those who eat fatty nuts have a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And those who add a liter of olive oil a week to their diet and consume nuts on a daily basis have a significantly lower risk of heart attack and death. For years, scientists pulled out their hair trying to understand the so-called French paradox, which I've spoken to you in my talk shows in the 30s, 20 and 30s, okay? Why could the French, hi sweetie, hi Heather, why could the French eat so much butter and fat and be so thin and have lower rates of heart disease? They should have been paying attention to what I call the American paradox. How could Americans eat less and less fat and get fatter and fatter? How did they not wonder why the Americans were eating less fat and getting more and more heart disease? Our paradigm was so entrenched, we couldn't see it. The psychiatrist R.D. Liang said, "Scientists can see the way they see with their way of seeing." So they completely stopped looking at other ways of seeing. Hi Sarah, welcome on board. Scientific research and, okay, let me see now, where am I going? Okay. In a diet book called Eat Fat, Get Thin, there's a guided tour of fats, both fats we eat and the biology of it in our bodies. And it shows you how the fat you eat actually does not make you fat. Eating more of the right fats will help you lose weight and prevent dementia, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, all the while giving you the added side benefits of improved mood, skin, hair, and nails. Sounds crazy for sure. For decades, I believed fat was to be avoided at all costs too, until I dug into the recent research. Based on what I have discovered, I have now changed to eating more fats in my diet. One patient of this particular doctor, for example, increased the fat in his diet to about 50% of his overall food intake, and his cholesterol dropped 100 points. Wow! His triglyceride dropped 300 points in just 10 days. His chronic asthma and reflux went away, while his energy soared. Now for me, it was the same case. because the nutrition that I'm taking from my supplements are high in fats. So when I started eating this particular diet, my heartburn went away. I have lost altogether about 40 kilos. Just think about that, 40 kilos, my God. People still look at me and say, hey, you're still 120 kilos. When are you going to lose the rest of your weight? I'm on that journey. I couldn't move. Now I can. I have made a great improvement on my health. Others haven't because they refuse to move. They refuse to take. Okay, I've discovered some surprising facts in researching. And this is what it says. Dietary fats speed up your metabolism, reduces your hunger, and stimulates fat burning. Dietary fat helps you reduce your overall caloric intake, not increase it. Dietary fat, and saturated fat specifically, does not cause heart disease. I used to have pain in the left side of my chest. Now I don't have it. Good for me. Dietary saturated fats raises the good kind of LDL, light fluffy LDL, and raises HDL, the good cholesterol. Dietary fat reduces inflammation, reduces the risk of clotting, and all heart disease risk factors. I used to have a lot of pain in my knees and in my joints. I don't have it anymore. That's why I can walk a half marathon. I can actually walk faster than people who are jogging beside me. Think about that. Think about that. I can walk faster than people who are jogging beside me. Wow. Dietary fat improves blood vessel health. Dietary fat improves brain function and mood and helps prevent dementia. My mom is having 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut fat every day. Her memory has improved greatly. Diets very high in fat and low in carbs can reverse type 2 diabetes. Good vegetable oils such as soy, corn, sunflower, safflower are harmful. They create inflammation and oxidize or make your cholesterol rancid and make it more likely to cause heart disease. So don't take these oils. Dietary fat, saturated fat from butter and coconut oil does not raise saturated fat in your blood. Carbohydrates, not dietary fat, turn into saturated fat in your blood. That fat is the cause of heart disease, not saturated fat that you consume. It is carbohydrates that turns into fat in your blood, causes heart disease. Hi Corina, welcome on board. Excess carbs stimulate your appetite and belly fat storage and slow your metabolism. Hi Hashran, welcome on board. Carbohydrates turn on the fat production factory in your liver. Thank you. In your liver called lipogenesis, causing high cholesterol and high triglycerides while lowering the good cholesterol HDL and creating small, dense, dangerous heart disease causing LDL particles. Okay, so there are 2 types of LDL, which doctors are not telling you. There's the light fluffy LDL, which is actually very good for you, and there are the tiny molecular dense LDL, which is completely bad for you. So that's the 2 differences between LDL, which no one is telling you. Sugar and refined carbs, not fat, are responsible for the epidemic of obesity and type 2 diabetes and heart disease, and the increased risk of dementia and premature deaths. So Let me summarize this all in detail. It is that good fats should be consumed in large quantities. And I repeat this, good fats should be consumed in large quantities, because if you overeat fats, your body does not actually keep those fats. They actually release it out of your body as a byproduct, which is diarrhea. You will basically have oil coming out of your ass, literally, all right? And that is good for you. That means your body is completely full of good fats. And in the process, the body will release bad fats. So this is what is happening. It is carbohydrates and sugar which causes all the 4 types of things, which is heart disease, high cholesterol and triglycerides, type 2 diabetes, and deaths. Not fats. Remember that fat is not fat is not fat. Well, sugar is sugar is sugar in name, in all 257 different names, all right? So this is the differences. Be aware of this. Okay, tomorrow I will do a little bit another talk. It's part of the same demonization talk, but in a slightly different area. And I'll give you some stories as well, huh? And then we'll talk about you, and I will set up a test for you in my page, Health and Nutrition or Health and Fitness. You take that test and find out for yourself whether you are okay or not okay, all right? This will help you greatly understand yourself. Everything that I've talked about so far all goes towards this. Thank you very much for being on board. Thank you for watching Lunch with Hirok. If you find this of educational benefit for you and your friends, please share it with them. And thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great night. Bye-bye.